What's up? What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. If you like me, you're grateful and thankful that you made it this far. Happy hump day, y'all. We making it. Welcome to Poppy's Conversation Corner. We have these conversations every week. I'm telling y'all. Every Wednesday, we're right here on this platform, 6:30 live with you, where you can come ask some questions, have some serious conversations with some great people. Today, we're talking about school confidential, what we hear, what we see, what you should know. And we're with the infamous, the one and only Jeanine and that boy from your hood, from my hood, Christian, who's doing the thing right here at Poppy's Therapeutic Corner. Y'all, we're grateful and thankful for these people. But y'all, do me a favor, hit share, like, heart, comment, spread the message. So share this so that somebody can hear this conversation tonight. I'm excited about it. So y'all, let's get Christian. Let's flip that. Let's get Jeanine and Christian on this platform right now. And it came on just like I said, Jeanine and Christian on this platform. Y'all, what's up? How y'all doing?
Hello.
Do y'all feel like I'm yelling at y'all? Like, how y'all doing?
Nah, I love the energy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It came out of nowhere because I have no energy.
it's so
But
opposite of mine. Like I love
yeah,
it. Yeah.
but I'm so glad that y'all could spend some time with me because I know y'all had to get up early this morning, get y'all day started. You know, y'all back in y'all regular routine. So let's go ahead and just jump in. Tell us who you are, Jenny. Go ahead and start. Who are you? What do you do? Where you from? Why you here?
Absolutely. My name is Jeanine Jennings. I am a social worker trainee, which means I am in my master's program at Northern Kentucky University, finishing that up. And I am a school-based therapist here in the city. Well, not necessarily in the city of Mount Healthy South Elementary
Okay.
School. So that's
Okay.
where I work.
Okay.
And yes.
I love that. Mount Healthy South.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got you. And then my boy, your boy, Christian, tell
So
us who you are.
I'm a Christian Boykin. I am a school-based case manager at Carson Elementary in Price Hill, Cincinnati. I'm a DJ, and yeah, that's what I do. Music is my thing. So it's not just if you was wondering why this is here.
That,
Um,
that,
this
that mic.
is a
Oh,
microphone.
that's what the okay. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you said something because I was gonna ask Mikey backstage, like, why is she okay with that thing pointing at your face like that? But
Oh,
I'm glad that you
I can
explained.
move it. I can move it off.
No. I just didn't know. I
Right.
didn't want to ask too many questions, but I'm glad you opened it up. See, once you opened it up, I walked through.
All right, so we good there. We good.
Yeah,
All right,
yes.
yeah, all
We're
right.
good. We're good. So you guys are in the school, apparently. So that's why we're calling it School Confidential. So you guys are hearing some things, you're seeing some things, and I think today we just gonna let them know what we seeing, right? Like, no, yes. Like,
Absolutely.
do we not want to go too deep? Because y'all see a
Well,
lot, right?
uh,
Yeah, we might want to go a little bit
I
deeper.
can go as deep as HIPAA will allow me to go.
As HIPAA. See,
Very good
look,
answer. Very
HIPAA
you
good
passed the
answer.
test.
allow me to go.
See, Christian, you passed the test. Janine, you got to
Thank
keep
you.
up. You got to keep up. You
Hard,
passed the test.
hard stop.
Yes, hard stop. No.
Good answer.
So no, we just gonna jump right in. There's some questions that we sent you guys. I'm gonna just go off those questions because I don't want to throw you off too much. But so what's some common emotions or behavior challenges that you see the students facing during the school year? So some of the challenges that you're facing, that you see them facing. What do we see?
Janine, you want to start with this one?
I'll start with this. And I feel like the biggest emotional behavioral challenge I see is anger, that emotional regulation, dysregulation, if you will, acting out, being upset, fighting with others. I would say that's the number one, especially with the school that I'm in currently. What do you see the most?
For me, it seems like it's a lot of like attention seeking behaviors. I know like a lot of the kids at home are not getting, um, that attention that they're seeking. And I think a lot of the behavioral issues are rooted in just looking for somebody to pay attention.
Mm,
So, but with that though, okay, because that's a good point. So with that, we're in the building. We have staff out that's outside of our organization that's there, who's trained in a sense in a certain manner and to have having to handle these like kids. Because again, we're talking about maybe one kid that we dealing with at a time, but you got these teachers who's dealing with 15, 20 kids at one time, and then
right.
they all have different issues and different situations. So like how are we like thinking, because we got this teacher in this classroom, we got all these different personalities coming in as students,
Mhm.
we got parents who may have some involvement, but how are we thinking that these teachers should handle these behavioral challenges? Like how do we see that being like some, because you're working with them on the more mental health side, and then Christian, you coming in to reinforce what's being worked on.
Right,
So
right.
how are we doing these things?
Um, oh, were you gonna go, Jenny?
No,
Yeah.
that was a sigh to
Okay. So before I came on with Poppies, I was in the classrooms.
Okay.
So I mean, like I understand that I get the challenges. I can relate to them. The very first thing that I would say is, it seems like the kids who need poppies the most aren't the ones that's getting the services. It'll be
Mhm.
like maybe that next tier up. So a lot of the kids, I think that, because I know the kids, from poppies and being in the classroom, so I have a familiarity with a lot of them. And I know a lot of them get triggered by the other kids, like some of the real kids with some of the real challenges who are not having services will be the ones that trigger the ones that are.
Mm,
So the first thing that I would do is, one, talk to the teachers and and recommend the services for those who aren't getting them. Because like once since I've been at Poppies and I'm more working with the kids one on one, it's completely different when you can get them out of that environment. They're more open. They don't mind sharing. Most times they don't, they're eager to share. So I think for me, I believe in a holistic approach. I try to make my presence in the classrooms as much as I possibly can. And two, like I said, with me having experience in the classroom, and I know the students, not just from Poppies, but I know the other kids. I think a lot of times just being there, um, and just showing your face in the classroom, can help alleviate some of that, and just really just creating plans with the teachers, getting those reports from the teachers, and also getting whatever reports from the parents as well. And I think the biggest thing is going to be getting parent involvement,
parent
because
involvement.
we've got them, 6 hours out of the day, 9 months out of the year, and the rest of it is, sort of out of our hands. So if we don't have, take that holistic approach and sort of attack all the corners of it, then we can do as much as we can. But if you don't have a plan in place that involves, um, especially all the adults that they encounter on a regular basis, that includes coaches if they're playing sports or whatever, everybody's got to be a part of it. It really
Definitely.
does
So
take a village.
you
Absolutely.
definitely have to pull that village in. Janine, what about you? What type of approach? What type of
Well, to add to what Christian was saying, we last year I did work as a case manager, so I had the ability to actually go into the classrooms and observe the kids to see how they are, acting within, that classroom, what's setting them off, the triggers that they're facing. A lot of the times, like Christian said, it was other kids, so just trying to kind of understand and create a game plan, a treatment plan to help that kid, come up with coping skills to help him or her within that environment was very helpful. Um, but again, just to echo what Christian was saying, that multidisciplinary approach, making sure that everyone is on the same page, making sure that we are included in IEP meetings and things like that, was so integral, I feel like, especially last year. So I want to definitely continue to do some of those things this year with a lot of my students. I feel like I have a better understanding just in general of their triggers, their symptoms, their family life. I've kind of created, relationships with the families that I didn't have before over the summer. So it's about building building to that relationship and just supporting the family really in totality, providing them with the supports that they need even outside of school for me. So that's kind of been another big thing that I've been, making sure that I emphasize
I
with my.
love it. I love it. And then so because both of you at some point, like Christian, you're operating now. Jeanine, you like you just said, you operated in the past as a case manager.
Mhm.
So what strategies or resources, because as case managers, it's about resources, like
Mhm.
definitely having that database of resource, but have been the most effective in supporting kids through difficult moments at school.
I think just honestly, just the conversations that you have with them, and a lot of times I find that the kids, um, like when you incorporate other things, activities like gameplay, arts and crafts, and things like that, they are well, I mean, just like as we are as adults at the family reunion or picnic, you might be playing a card game or at the barbershop or hair salon. It's like when you start to incorporate other things into it, it makes those conversations just flow out a lot naturally. And like I said earlier, like these kids are really eager to talk.
Mhm.
They are as again as I said, attention starved a lot of times, and they really want that. So I think as long as you sort of like I can't I hate to put it like this. Maybe I do like I have a background in theater, and one of the things that we do in theater is like it's like the action is here, but the scene is changing down here. So we're gonna pay attention to this, but
Mm-hmm.
things are back here change. This is where the real action is happening
Mm.
back there, right? So I think when you I don't know if I want to call it adding distractions, but you sort of take them away from their distractions that they're
Mm-hmm.
used to in the classroom and introduce new distractions in the way that um, it's stimulating for them. And once you start doing that, they really just start opening up. And a lot of times they don't even like, I don't want to say they don't realize that they're opening up,
Yeah.
but it's like when they can just sort of take their mind off whatever the stressors are,
Yeah.
then they start telling you what the stressors are.
So with that though, like with that approach though, how like effective have you saw? Like, is that like a high, like I don't want to say turnover rate, but is that like a high, like effective rate of students like taking on that approach? Because I mean, a lot. I mean, I guess it's the individual, but like introducing them to something new sometimes is scary too. But like how are they like? Or do you find that they're like actually like
Yeah,
accepting that approach?
yeah, I find that it's been very effective. And I've noticed, and without going into names because of
Yeah.
HIPAA, but I I would say like I received a compliment from the principal,
Hmm.
at one point in time over at Carson where she's like, I don't know how you do it, and there's other kids, they were like, we need you to work your magic, so I will say that it is effective, and like we had one girl who, for instance, would not go into the classroom.
Mm,
And I knew this from, at one point in time when I was, her teacher,
mm,
not going to the classroom. Now she goes, she like used to hang out in the hallway. Now she, started going into the classroom. And then as we progressed, it went from like going in, but not doing anything, work wise. And then after a while, we started seeing her grades improve and
mm.
things like that. So I would say overall, it's pretty effective.
Oh, that's amazing, amazing. Janine,
Yeah.
so what strategies
And
or resources you using?
Thank you. I just wanted to add to that. Kerry, I've used physical activity a lot over the last year. Sometimes they're sick of, sitting in the class or sick of whatever triggered in the, classroom. So I'll take them to the gym. I'll take them for walks, just so that they can get that excessive energy out so that they kind of can calm down, regulate their emotions in their little bodies so that they can, then go to, learn something, eventually. So sometimes they just need kind of like that prolonged physical activity. I feel like that will truly kind of bring them back down eventually. So that has worked for me. Hopefully it continues. And I have
Yeah.
particular students that it works really, really well for. So that's been kind of my modus operandi. I will continue to do that with those kids, and it's trial and error a lot of times too, just trying to
I'm
figure
glad
out.
you said, like, you read my mind, because that's literally where I was going out.
Mm-hmm.
My brain be working like, what can I say next? And I
Yes.
literally was gonna say, like, do you find your, and Christian, I'm stealing your stuff now. Like, I find,
Mm-hmm.
do you find no, do you find yourself though, like, having to, like, okay, this didn't work, I'm gonna try this, like, so like this week I tried this, but next week I'm trying something different than the week after that, like, have you ever been in those type of situations where you like had this one student, because Christian, you kind of was saying something about like a student who didn't want to go into the classroom, and I'm sure that wasn't like one week you did something, then next week all of a sudden it changed. Was it like a thing where you had to like keep trying something new, keep trying like different tactics, different modalities, different approaches? Or was that, have you ever
Um,
found yourself in those type of situations?
yeah, I think it's a lot of times just like at the beginning of the school year where I first start working with a client,
Mhm.
really just starting to, analyze not so much, where their weaknesses are, because I think that's one of the things we do. Like where can this kid get better? But I think really analyzing what they're good at.
Mm,
Like this particular student I was talking about earlier, she didn't talk to adults. She did
mm,
not talk to adults, but I discovered that she will write. And she was actually a great writer, and just really sitting down with her, just like, okay, paper and pencil, and I'll have my kids journal every day at the start of every
mm,
session. They have all have journals, they journal in, but um her in particular, like this was like the only way she would communicate.
mm.
And then just one day she just came up and started talking to me, and I was like, whoa, like, did you
Did you
actually?
say something? Okay.
I mean, like
Right.
at best, it was like one word answers. That was about all I could get. But then it just got to the point where I think she started building trust in me.
Mm,
And I don't really know what it is. I think this might be more of a therapist question, but I don't know what might be like in her background or something that she did not trust
mm,
adults, but she was very conversational with her peers.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
But after some gameplay, after the journaling, once I think she appreciated that I recognized that she preferred to write, and a lot of times draw as well. I think she may have appreciated that. And after a while, I come to realize I was the only
no,
adult that she would speak to. And even sometimes when I would see her out in the hallways where she wasn't supposed to be, like we would run into each other, and soon she sees me, she'll turn around and walk into the classroom, right, without me without me even saying a word to her, so I think it's really um, building rapport and just really focusing on and finding what that strength is. Doing icebreaker activities when you first start those activities, get sessions, get to know you, type things. And I'm always very candid with my kids as well about what's going on in my life.
Mm.
I'll tell them like, yeah, I went through that. I experienced
Yeah.
homelessness. What I'm saying,
Mhm.
like, I know exactly where you are. I've been there. And and those you start to see those walls come down,
Mm.
and it really does not take that long for a lot of them to sort of take that, okay, like this guy gets me, he
Mhm.
It's
understands.
building that trust, though. It's definitely
Right.
building the trust.
Definitely.
Like,
Absolutely.
and I think, like, to go back on what you said, like, it's yeah, like, I guess that is a therapy thing, but it's definitely somewhere along in there. Some adults broke her trust, and
Right.
that's simply what it is. And
Mhm.
what happens is we come into these school settings where our goal is to teach them, our goal is to pour into them, but we don't sometimes set space enough to allow them to build trust in us, build like relationship. Sometimes it's transactional, like you here to learn, and I'm here to teach you. That's it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
Versus like us being in the space and like we build this nurturing relationship where like you can come to me and talk to me, because
Right.
that's what happens. We don't, like, once they leave our buildings, we don't know what they're
Know what's
going
going
into.
on. Yeah.
Right.
Right? We
Yeah.
don't know that. And so to have that corner, that safe corner in the world, of a person, that's just what it is. So you built that trust. She built that trust in you to know that Mr. Boykins is a listening ear, or he's
Right.
somebody I could talk to, because maybe every time I talk they didn't listen.
Right.
Right.
So I just found like I'm not gonna say anything because it's not like they listening to me anyway.
Right.
Right.
So then when
Exactly.
she found that you were listening, then you become her person.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Janine, like, what about you? Like, have you ever been in that situation where you had to like keep trying and trying and trying and trying? Because you
Yeah.
don't give up.
Yeah.
What I found, here we go. What I found is that Janine don't give up, so she
Yeah.
gonna keep trying. But
Yeah.
have you been in those situations?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I actually still I'm still working on my student that is refusing to go into the classroom. So I have not
Mm.
yet found a solution that
Krista, we
works
need to
for
talk.
her.
We need to talk
Yeah.
backstage.
But
We're going to get your trick.
I will continue to do my due diligence and research to see what will work for her. Um, so again, it's just a lot of it is just on a case by case basis. My kiddo was she has language challenges, so that's an impairment as well. So I think she just kind of gets too overwhelmed and just gives up, you
Mm.
know. So I have to continue to work with her this upcoming year. Um, but for some, it's been just being able to be there, listen, um, find out the things that they are using, like the journaling, like cognitive behavioral therapy. Some of the interventions that I am studying in school works, but again, it's on a case by case, kid by kid basis. So.
And do you find it? I need to stop saying that now. Like, Christian, I'm blaming you because this was not on my mentality after that. Now, for the rest of the night, I'm gonna keep saying I found. Like,
Hey man, hey, listen, it works.
it works. It
It
works.
works.
I sound so intelligent saying it. I found that. Well,
Mhm.
like, but no, like, and I lost my whole train of thought now because I'm gonna move on from that. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like because you're working with children.
Mhm.
Like, and I don't know if you guys ever been in the situation. Well, Janine, I know you have. Working with adults, like,
Mhm.
what's like? Because that's a grave difference, though. Or do you see a difference, like in your approach? Because again, kids are definitely different. But sometimes adults can be on that same. Wavelength.
What I appreciate about working with the kids is that element of play. So we can use the play therapy, the games to build rapport, and then they eventually want to, disclose certain things about their home life and things like that, that you don't necessarily, unfortunately, you're not really using with adults, but
Mhm.
and they just have a genuineness and a like an innocence, of course, because they're kids, and a truthfulness,
Yeah.
that kind of comes out. So it's just a little more pure
Yeah.
Yeah.
of an interaction with kids,
I
for
will
sure.
s- I will say in a recent home visit that I made, I did, I was sitting down with one of the kids playing some games or whatever, that I did have mom sit down and play with us. And I found, like, there was so much information that came out, especially if it was like a trivia game or
Mhm.
whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, he does that, she does that, and then it's like, so I do find that there are ways to incorporate in the parents, especially if I'm going, for home visits. I
Mhm.
really do try to, get the parents to sit down um, and participate in whatever activities that we might happen to be doing. And even the parents, I think for a lot of us adults, there is that inner child that does want to come out, and they will start talking about their problems. I mean, anytime that I've had to call and check in, because part of the case manager, I try to make sure they have the resources, that they need as a family. And I can get on the phone or be face to face with a parent and they will tell me everything. I
Mm.
mean, they are looking for, they're looking for the outlet too.
Mm.
And in that, I find that it's so very important because you do start to get the clues as to what's going on with the child once, once the parents start talking, like you start to get the, that family trauma stories and
Mhm.
all of that. And then it's just like you get those aha moments like, now I get it. Now I know what
Yeah.
direction I need to go into. Because like some of the patterns that, like if a parent like suffered abuses or whatever, themselves as a child, when they start to reveal a lot of that, you can see how, you know, that trauma that they faced, um, how it affects how they parent, and then you're like,
Mhm.
okay, now I know where I need to go with this, So,
Right.
I'll tell them in a second. You're like, poppies, we do have therapy for y'all too.
Right. Right.
Okay. Like, I'll send you the forms.
I mean,
Right.
and that's important too, though. I think we definitely and not just here at Poppies, just across the board. It's a support thing. Like it's universal. Like it definitely it just because even working with the child, that's a piece of the puzzle. It doesn't
Mhm.
complete the puzzle because again, it's just like you saying going back into that situation. So we work with this child, and then we get them to a certain place, but then we have to send them back into their regular environment, which are students who are not being worked with, who are not going through the process of working on self or working on behavioral issues. So then they get put back in that same environment. And then let's look at the broader picture. Then we work with them, and then they have to go back into their environment, their nature, or where they're being nurtured at
Mhm.
home, and that's even bigger. That's even a bigger piece of the puzzle. So then the parent, who we definitely try to pull in and make them as involved as possible, but the parent themselves too have to be along in the process. They
Yeah.
have to be
Absolutely.
they have to work the process. And to know that that there's assistance for you, like, or the parent, not you,
Yeah.
but the parent. The parent, you like, it's okay to have support as well.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's much like they tell you when you get on the airplane. They do those little speeches. You got to secure your own mask before
you
you,
help your
you help
neighbor.
anybody else. And if the parent's not good, there's there's not to say that there's no hope for the child, but it is an uphill battle
Mhm.
Right.
when the parent is
Yep.
dealing with their own struggles.
That definitely is true. That's definitely true. And so definitely with our families, we definitely want to encourage them. We definitely encourage them. That it could be a family thing. and it's okay too. Like I definitely in 2025, we know that therapy and services, having resources, having somebody to aid you in this thing called life is okay. It's all
Right.
right.
Yeah.
I have a therapist, and I'm grateful for my therapist. And therapists have therapists. It's okay.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
like it's okay in 2025
Yeah.
to have help or to have somebody to just listen to you, because all mine do is listen, because I like to talk, as you can see.
Yeah.
So it's okay just to have somebody listen to you, help you maneuver this thing called life. Like it's
Right.
nothing wrong with it. But I do want to say a few things. Y'all do us a favor, share, heart this video. Let somebody know that we're having this conversation tonight, because this is great. It's phenomenal. They're sharing some phenomenal things and some stuff that you need to know, because you're not in the schools with your kids. So these people are. These are two people who are in the schools with your children. They're seeing, they're working, and we're trying to make a change. So y'all do us a favor and share. But y'all, before we get off, I'm gonna ask y'all one more question. But I ask every week that our guest, and Mikey did her big one because she added it on the thing. I ask every week that you drop a gem, like form of wisdom, like encouragement before we get off. So I'm gonna ask y'all to do that before we get off. But the
Okay.
last question that I'm gonna ask is, what and my phone locked right when I was about to say it. How can parents and teachers spot early warning signs that students may be struggling? Like, because again, these people spending a whole lot of time with them, definitely the parents. Because parents can, from sun up to sundown, and sometimes be missing the things. Sometimes they can be with them all day and still not see it. So, what are some signs that they can start paying attention to?
I would say sudden withdrawal or isolation. Hopefully, you know your child enough to know when they are kind of pulling back and, you know, spending too much time in their rooms or online. Um, Big mood, you know, or behavioral changes. Um, of course, depression, sleeping too much, things like that. Grades dropping is
Mm,
another indication. Not wanting to go to school is also another indication. Um, I think mood in addition to like the interpersonal conflicts. So like if they're always having, you know, issues or fights, you know, full blown fights with, you know,
mm.
siblings, other family members at school, with the teachers, you know, those are all some things that could kind of warn you that there, you know, some other deeper things going on with
Things
that
going on.
particular
Yeah.
child.
We definitely need to pay attention to that. So y'all heard it, parents. Though some signs. Christian, do you have anything to add to that or no?
No, I think she covered it pretty well. I think by the time I see them, they're already in their mood. I think just it's one of those things though where, you know, with the age group that I'm working in, a lot of them are going into puberty, you know,
Mhm.
or whatever. So it's like some of those moods things are sort of
Kind of like
expected, you know.
expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think you know, just really looking out for those signs before they get to that, you know, that stage. And just being really just aware of the resources that are available for you. You know, I know there are books out there on parenting, but, you know, nobody's, you know, everybody's different. Nobody's got the exact same problems, although they're similar
Yeah.
a lot of times, but just really understanding where the resources are and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Mm,
As you know, just don't be afraid to ask for help. And like you were saying earlier, Carrie, that stigma around therapy has greatly diminished. You know, like you know, at one point in time, especially for our community, where it was just sort of like, you know, we'll pray it away,
yeah.
or you can pray to God to send you a therapist.
Yep.
You know, you know, so yeah, just knowing the resources.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. And then I'm and my finally, I just think that we have to realize too, it's I mean, because that whole taboo thing, like thinking that, oh, that you're crazy because you have to talk to somebody. No,
Right.
it's you're dealing with life, and you may not be dealing with life, but life is gonna deal with you one way or the other. So
yeah,
just having someone there to help you maneuver
yeah.
through is no issues, no problem.
Mhm.
And the good thing is now that if you got insurance, 9 times out of 10, your insurance will pay for it. So why
Right.
not? Like it's like going to the doctor. You go to the doctor to get a checkup to make sure you well. Go to the therapist to make sure that your mental is well. Cause mine wasn't, and I didn't know it until I got there. I'm just um. I don't know if I should say that out loud. Okay, like, but no, it's okay. We have to recognize that it's okay, and I'm grateful for people like you two who have the courage and the strength to wake up early in the morning because I had to do it today and I felt so horrible. So I'm grateful for you guys that y'all get up and y'all actually going in there because that's a big task. That's a big task at hand. Because you have to play a part in somebody else's child's life. Um, and we don't recognize it sometimes when we're in it, but how effective you like how did I just turn to the side?
Yeah,
Did anybody else see
You did.
that?
yeah.
Mhm.
No, you're sideways.
Yeah.
Your
See?
orientation changed
See?
somehow.
That's
Yes,
strange.
it's like
Mm.
I feel like Mikey's trying to tell me something, but I'm gonna I'm gonna believe that she's gonna switch me back around. But no, the reality is that you guys play a vital role in these children's lives and these kids' life. So I'm grateful for you, Poppies. We thank you. The Cincinnati Public Schools, they thank you. Well, Mount Healthy District Schools, they thank you. Because you guys are doing great work and making change. I told somebody earlier it's phenomenal to be able to call ourselves change agents because we are here making a change in our communities, in our city, in the world. Because hopefully, eventually, these children be impacting the world. Like, and you have played a role in it. So again, thank you guys for doing what you're doing. Keep going, keep pushing forward. I'm gonna keep pushing you. Charisma definitely gonna keep pushing you if nobody else. So again, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. I
Absolutely.
did. I guess I was supposed to ask. Is there some questions that were posted? If we can get those questions up, I don't know if there were some. Charisma said, "Hey, y'all say hey
Hey,
to Charisma. That's our CEO. I wish he turned me back around. This feels so awkward.
she said that's on you. She said
Yeah,
you gotta
it's
shake your
on.
Yeah.
phone.
No,
Yeah.
it's not on me. My phone is locked in this thing, so I don't know. I didn't I've not even touched the phone, so that's even more crazy that she's trying to blame me. It's her. You don't blame. I'm the host. You don't blame the host. So anyway,
You gotta blame the producers.
you blame the producers.
In the back,
This
right?
is a technical fault on them, not me. But no, hey Charisma, and I'm assuming that was the last thing. It says add effects using hand gestures. Um, okay, anyway, can you both drop a gem tip or quote for the viewers? There we go. So Janine, go ahead and lead the way.
Um, I will say just listen to your kids, right? Listen to them. Um, if they're saying, "Hey, I'm having a problem with this," because if you don't listen to them, they're gonna. I'm gonna listen to them, and then Christian's gonna listen to them. So you have to like really listen to their concerns. Um, whether you believe them or not, just listen, hear them out, and stay nosy about what they're doing both online and in person, who they spend their time with. I'm all up and through my kids' phones and their devices because I need to know what you're doing online as well. So that is my advice.
I love it. I love it. What about you, Christian?
First I would say never stop dreaming. Don't lose that inner child. First of all, and don't underestimate the power of saying things out loud. I think we just keep too much to ourselves, too much bottled in, and things just come out in sometimes the most unhealthy way. So find somebody you trust. And if you can't find anybody you trust, talk to a complete stranger. Like it. I mean, if you can do the therapy thing, do it. But if you don't have anybody you can trust, talk to a stranger, somebody who don't know you from Adam, and and just talk. But just don't
Mhm.
underestimate the power of saying things out loud.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Again, thank y'all. Thank you guys so much. I know your day has been long. and you're back at it tomorrow. So again, thank y'all for spending this little time with us. Y'all, we're here every week, 6:30, having these conversations with some great people about great topics who are doing great work in your city, in your state, or in your world. So I'm just grateful for this thing called Poppy's Conversation Corner. Y'all, I'll see y'all next week. Like, share, heart. Y'all be blessed.
See.
Yeah. Y'all stay backstage. Thank y'all.